For number 2, I'm finding the slope of the line that contains the point -6, 3, and 4, 1. Remember that slope is represented by our letter M. We can think of this in a couple different ways. If I were to draw a line on a coordinate plane, the slope of this line would be the change in my vertical direction, in reference to the change in my horizontal direction. That's my change in y over my change of x. Sometimes we remember this as rise over run. So I rise along my y-axis, and I run along my x-axis. I rise along my y-axis, and I run along my x-axis. Now, if I am finding my slope based on points, let's get 2 points in here, 1 and 2. I name these points x1 and y1. Let's name my other point x2 and y2. Okay, let me rewrite this one so we can see it a little bit better. So I have my x1, comma y1, and my x2, comma y2. Okay. So my change oops, I wanted that one to be orange here. So my change can be represented with subtraction. So I'm going to say the change in y's, well, that's y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. This represents my slope, my change. So we're going to use this equation. I have 2 points that are labeled. My x1, my y1, my x2, and y2. So I'm going to label my points over here. I have an x1 and a y1. I also have an x2 and a y2. What we're going to do, we're going to plug this into our equation here. Our slope equation was equal to our rise over run. We also found that this was our y2 minus y1 divided by x2 minus x1. So let's plug in our points as they are. We know that y2 y2 is a 1. I'm going to keep my subtraction sign. We know that y1 is our 3. We're going to keep our division sign. We know that x2 was our 4. Keep that subtraction sign. And we know that x1 is our negative 6. And now we're going to simplify. If we do 1 minus 3, well, that gives us negative 2. And if we do 4 minus negative 6, well, remember a negative times a negative can be written as a plus. And we know that 4 plus 6 gives us a positive 10. Let's simplify as much as possible. We're going to divide both our numerator and denominator by something that goes into both 2 and 10 would be 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 leaves us with negative 1. 10 divided by 2 leaves us with a positive 5. So our slope for problem 2 is negative 1/5.